Up next, we've got what should be...
From the oldest capital city in the Americas, founded in 1325, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Mexico City. Coming up, another edition of the NFL International Series, and it should be a good one, between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Mexico City Diablos. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by the final pick of the first round in 2018 out of Louisville. It's Lamar Jackson.
If you just break it down in individual terms, he played really well last week. 0 interceptions, 3 touchdown passes. Not a whole lot more he could have done to win that game. But you know something's funny, when we talked to him, all he focused on were throws he missed, other opportunities that didn't get done.
Good sign of a leader.
Great sign of a leader, because they didn't win, and that's all he cares about.
And a nice little broken tackle run there by Todd Gurley, the 10th pick in the 2015 draft.
And that's what you get with him, that full package of speed, power, able to catch the ball out of the backfield. Many people doubted him coming out because of the knee injury in college. They see him the full Todd Gurley now, and it hurts.
Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37. So, Charles, first drive here, little safe completion underneath, maybe get some rhythm, get your feet wet, so to speak.
I agree, and I like it because it's a lot like a basketball game when you're getting started and you pass the ball around so everyone touches it early and gets involved in the game. In this case, it's not just dumping it to a back when he's able to run with the ball, but you get your offensive linemen involved because they get to get out and run and hit people in the open field. Everyone getting their feet wet early. I'm not sure that this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and got the ball to him. So, second catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So, if they can get him going to the passing game, it should open up his running game, too. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
The 7th play now of this opening drive. This is 3rd and long, though. Jackson from the shotgun. And that one's complete to Gurley. That one good for 15 in the first. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did. Big
time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone. Because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now it's Jackson. He's got it to Hilton. And he's going to be taken down short of the first, right around the 15-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
They moved the ball pretty well there on the opening drive. You think they're okay settling for 3?
I don't think they're happy about settling for 3, but I think you're exactly right with the word okay, because they threw it well, they ran it well. Excellent balance for the first drive of the game.
They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Here to his running back. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
When you give up points on the opening drive, in this case a field goal, you'd hate to go 3 and out. They avoid that.
They do, and it's also walking that fine line mentally, too, as a coach, isn't it? Because you want to emphasize to your team exactly what you said. All right, we gave up a field goal. Let's go back and at least equal that, guys. But if we don't, you don't want them to feel like it's the end of the world either. Nice that they were able to pick up the first down there, help them relax a little bit.
On 1st and 10, Bowman. Open man is Higgins.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Going to give this time to the tailback, and he'll get it out to midfield. They'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. It's almost a tendency breaker.
Now a pass that's taken in by Hill, and he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 16 and an Eagle 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on: catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Gets this one to Hill. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. The Eagle passing game looking good on this drive. It's a 1st down. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how you guys didn't come out of the gate. I know I offered my help with a few plays.
And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. From 6 yards away. And the Eagles have taken the lead. Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point.
All drives that result in points hurt a defense, but when they are this play after play and they just can't get off the field and stop them, that can be demoralizing.
A 10-play drive that time. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Todd Gurley and the offense, they get set and trot back out there now. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here?
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. He gets it to Gurley, complete. The 3rd down run gets him nothing.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Watch out for Hill on the return. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Our first update now comes from Atlanta. It's the Colts in that one that have grabbed the early lead. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. Then he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Call it a 3-yard gain, and they're going to have a 3rd down. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. That'll be taken in there by Miles Boykin. 14 yards there and an Eagle 1st down. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. Looking to throw. Bowman. A gain of 6 there on 1st. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now a handoff here to his running back. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Back to throw. Bowman just in lane there defensively that time to knock it free.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Would have been right at about a 52-yard field goal try, but no, they are going to go for this thing on 4th down. Looking to throw. Bowman. And he comes back with one complete. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. It's a gain of 13 and a 1st down for Philadelphia.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart. Yeah, even for a talented receiver, those are tough to hang on to.
Here we go. 10 Nova.
On 1st down, Bowman. This is caught. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. From 10 yards out. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie. Because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more. reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. So here is the home side to take over on offense. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
So we've reached halftime here, and it's our... And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the third quarter gets underway. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as he'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, it just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tyreek Hill that time. And that'll bring up second down. So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. To throw again. Bowman. And going deep for Hill. It's caught at the 10. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Tyreek Hill, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half. Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing, but with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's third down.
50, 15, 55. Here we go.
From the gun, it's Jackson. Completes it to Aguilar. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Now, a nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the third quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See if he can drive the bus here again on this drive. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And to give this time to the tailback. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. That one good for 33 and a first.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Back to throw. Bowman, and that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. The all-pro linebacker Luke Kuechly right there on the coverage, stride for stride. This defense trying to do its part, active hands on that play, but their offense hasn't given them much to work with.
So they're not going to worry about it. On their side of the ball, all they're concerned about, can they create some scoring opportunities and help out that offense?
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Bowman. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Enough chance to start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half. 1st and 10. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
And when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
And power running here down to the 6-yard line. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Back to throw. Bowman toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. On 4th down, Bowman. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Tyreek Hill, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. They took a pretty big risk right there going for it on 4th down. But, hey, not only did they get the first down, forget about that, they got in the end zone.
Yeah, because normally you're just thinking, can I get enough yardage to get it past the sticks and pick up a first down? Instead, they go for the end zone and get it done with no margin for error. Remember, 4th down, they went for it.
Fielded about a yard deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here is the home side to take over on offense. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough, because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
Go!
Now a draw play for Gurley. And they're going to get him down well short of the first, as he can only get this to the 30. It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on 4th down. Here's Brian Anger now, as he's on to kick it away. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play, as time has run out on this third quarter. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Jackson now. And this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Eagles are going to take over in great field position. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't. Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And down inside the 15 he goes. 14 yards there and an Eagle first down. Well, I'm sure he likes his performance a little bit better than last week. He had the 3 interceptions here, none in the 4th quarter, and he's got his guys in front.
Guaranteed he put in a tremendous amount of work this week, but maybe the matchup is just better for him. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. It's almost like those golfers. Certain courses fit their eye, and they like what they see, and other courses, as soon as they tee it up, they know they have no shot. Maybe that's the difference for him. Last week, no. This week, a big yes.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Looking to throw. Bowman. And it is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And that will force a turnover on downs. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the 4th, but they didn't get it.
Guaranteed it's not going to be a fun handshake in the postgame, right? You just know that there's going to be some bad blood there. And I know if we go to the postgame press conferences, the winning coach, you know what he's going to say, why he did it? We need the points, okay? Because you never know at the end of the year if points are going to come into the tiebreaker if we're trying to get into the playoffs. That's always the standard justification.
So a much rosier picture now after that last play. Here's 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. To throw is Jackson. And they'll set up the screen to Gurley. And he is going to lose yardage here. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a second and long. Throwing is Jackson. That's complete. It's Collins. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down. And this offense on third down today, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Here's Jackson. And an acrobatic catch there by Watkins. 23 yards, the final tally.
What a catch, and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
They get a little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Again, Jackson. It's caught by Aguilar. That one good for 26 and a first down. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. This complete left side to Aguilar. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards. Jackson and the offense come up 1st and 10, and he's working on a string of 8 straight completions. Jackson will throw again. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Now it's Jackson. And that incompletion means his streak is over there. He hit on 9 straight passes. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. And Jackson throwing once more to the goal line, but it's incomplete. Another good drive, Charles, but it looks like another that might end in a field goal try.
They've made some nice plays. They've given themselves opportunities, but as you noted, another field goal attempt coming up. And that's not how they want to end drives. They've got to figure out what's the final touch that they need to push it across the goal line.
Yeah, still yet to find the end zone. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, and this one just a chipping. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And they're back within 3 scores as it's now a 22-point game. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
On to the kicking team. Get it? Yes. The onside kick works like a charm. Great job by the kick team there to get the football, but also don't forget about the man that started it, the lonesome kicker himself.
I love that you brought him into it because he doesn't get nearly the attention he deserves. Oftentimes it's only when it's negative. In this case, he created a positive play for his team.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. To throw again on 2nd down. Jackson.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Jackson. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 26. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. And going deep for Hill. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Hill, the intended receiver once again, but now it's 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Back to throw. Bowman got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Now it looks like he'll throw here. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Operating from the gun, Bowman. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. From 4 yards out. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
So it's a victory here for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever